1, 2, 3, 4. Those are all out. Ah. Close. Didn't know, my name is Quincy Davis. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking out this lesson. I put out a lot of lessons, so I hope you'll consider subscribing. And most urgently, I hope you'll enjoy this lesson so much that you'll press that like button. And I love hearing from everybody. Yes, everybody in the comments, even the haters. There are a few of you out there, and I don't mind it. It's all good. I learn from everybody, including the haters. You know, some folks out there are very opinionated and they like it a certain way, and it's all good. So we're jumping right into this lesson, the secret to a great bass drum tone. And I'm mostly, and I guess predominantly, referring to an open bass drum, as in on a bebop kit, a jazz bebop kit. A lot of times we keep the bass drum open, meaning no muffling. And that's like crazy sounding to many of you out there who are used to having something in the bass drum or something on the outside to keep it from resonating too much. But there's many advantages to keeping your bass drum open, and I'm going to go through those. The thing about it is I try to get as many notes out of the bass drum as possible. It can be very unruly if you don't know how to control it, right? All my students know about this. They know I'm always on them about this. The fact that the bass drum, as well as the hands, obviously the hands, but often we neglect the bass drum when we deal with dynamics. Everyone say dynamics. Dynamics! Dynamics. Play dynamics in your bass drum. And that's just, in general, something that's going to open up your overall dynamic range in your playing, right? So don't just adjust the dynamic range in your hands. Do it in your bass drum as well. And your hi-hat. Yes, your hi-hat as well. But this lesson's about the bass drum. So I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to go through how I kind of address dynamics in the bass drum when I'm playing time and also when I'm playing a solo. Okay, so I'm just going to play a little bit, and I want you to just observe the bass drum. Okay, I got my, hey, I know I'm not wearing slippers, but consider it, let's call it a shoe cam. How about that? Is that good enough? All right. Those of you, my longtime subscribers, know that I used to have a slipper cam that I pull out all the time. I haven't done that in a while. Maybe I'll do that again soon. But this is serious stuff. So shoe cam, here we go. So I'm just going to play a little bit. Okay, so did you observe what I was trying to demonstrate and what that's actually how I play. I wasn't necessarily trying to demonstrate anything. But if you were really paying attention, you'll notice that I was getting a lot of different dynamics out of the bass drum, and specifically, and more specifically, I was using the beater in different ways. I was sometimes playing off the head, pulling off, right? So I get a really full open sound. And then sometimes I would keep the beater in. And you see how that's two different tones. And if you kind of keep those tones in mind at all different dynamic levels, then you have a wide array of dynamics, thus extending or maximizing your dynamic range in your overall playing, if you're doing that in your hands as well. So in the bass drum, this is open, this is closed, right? It's almost like a half-step difference. Hopefully you can hear that on the camera. boom, boom, bing. So I'm keeping that mindset as I move through the different dynamic ranges. Open, close. Open, close. Open. This is like my forte. Close. And now at the forte dynamic, you'll see my heel is lifting up because I want more weight. And I'm trying to keep the beater in the head, creating a really strong impact, right? And it sounds a little harsh when it's isolated like this. But when you hear it like this, right, in a way that Elvin Jones would play it, you can really hear that. There's some footage of Elvin playing different tones in the bass drum. Sometimes he keeps it in, sometimes he keeps it out. I've heard Kenny Washington talk about different playing the bass drum beater in the head or off the head. Max Roach, you can hear him, different solos, different points in his playing where he's keeping the beater out or he's keeping it in, right? Closed, open. So that's really it. So again, I'm just going to play some time, and I just want you to hear and observe and notice when I'm playing in, when I'm playing out, in addition to the dynamics I'm playing those in and out tones. Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are all out. Close. Right? So there's a real wide variety of tones that I'm using and also dynamics. I will also say it's really important that you think about when you keep the beater off the head, you're going to naturally get more sound out of the bass drum because you're allowing it to fully resonate. So thusly, you do not have to play as loud for it to be heard. You with me? So even though I'm playing fairly quiet, you can see in the video the beater is not coming off the head very far at all, and yet you can hear it, right? Hear it loud and clear. Wow. Right? That last one I gave a little extra volume on, but you can hear it loud and clear. So that's a mistake that a lot of drummers, when they play an open bass drum, make, is that they play their open tones too loud that it takes over. It overtakes the band and specifically the bass, right? So just be very careful when you're playing off the head. But that is a kind of a common approach or sound when jazz drummers are comping. Just keep it open. With the change up being the closed tone, right? So now I'm gonna mostly play open and then I'm gonna close it at the, let's say at the downbeat of the 5th measure. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you hear that? So it wasn't exactly the downbeat; it was the end of 4 of measure 4, right? And so I kept the beater in, and there you got a lot more of an impactful note to signify the end of the phrase and to help me just have a little more impact with that fill. I hope this is clear. I'm going to move on to soloing, okay? So I'm going to play a little bit, and I want you to observe closed, open, and the dynamic range that I'm using on the bass drum. Here we go. 1, 2, Those are all open, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Listen to the dynamics. You hear the dynamics? So I didn't just come down with my hands. I came down with the bass drum as well, thusly adding to my dynamic range. One more time. I won't stop this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So I was really trying to emphasize the idea of keeping the beater in sometimes, keeping the beater out sometimes. And again, you do not have to play it hard in order for those tones, those open tones, to come out. And the other thing is, I want you to hear how it sounds if I always keep the beater in. Right? It's all one dynamic. There's nothing wrong with that, but after a while, that might get to be a little much for the volume of the room, for the volume of the band, for the volume of the kit, for the balance of what you're playing. And the other thing I would say is, when you're keeping the beater in, especially at high volumes, your heel probably has to go up, like mine. And when you do that, you lose control. So those are kind of like one-offs, one-off hits, right? Bet-on, bang. Bet-on, bang. Right? Because I can't really control that volume. I'm not going to play a series of notes that are with my heel up, unless I really want to play loud for a little while. But generally, if I want more variety in what I'm playing in the bass drum, my heel is going to mostly stay down until those notes that I want to keep the beater in to the head. The other thing I would say is, last thing, notice what I'm doing? I'm keeping my heel up because I want a drier, kind of punchy bass drum sound, right? I don't want the linger of the open bass drum to take over the groove. I want the rhythm. I want the impact of the rhythm. Now, it doesn't mean I can't play with the heel or the beater off the head, right? Open, close, open tone. And again, that same kind of volume rule with the in and out tones, since I'm keeping it out, right? I don't have to play as hard for it to be heard or felt. When we close it, open. Close. Open. All right, so that was my probably overly verbose and loquacious explanation of open and closed tones on the bass drum, and generally thinking about your volume and your dynamic range in the bass drum. Hey, let's blame it on the matcha green tea. Yes, I'm still drinking that green tea, even though, I usually have it right there. I don't have it. Somebody stole it. Did you steal it? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Practice this. Pay attention to your bass drum tone. Listen to different drummers and how they incorporate all these different tones and dynamics. And yours, too, will improve. I promise you. All right? So until the next time, you know what to do. Practice hard, but practice smart. Take care. Bye-bye.